Hey, Zion's number one. We get that. We move past him. Why all the love? Why the demand for Ja Morant?
Well, you look at his highlights and you understand right away why. I mean, the guy is an absolute freak. He's just an electric athlete. He gets up and down the floor in the blink of an eye. He creates his own shot. He plays pick and roll. He's a tremendous passer. He's got great instincts in pick and roll, and he's exactly what teams are looking for. You know, that De'Aaron Fox type athlete to have at the point guard spot. It's hard to find, and he's young. He's the same age as many freshmen. And, you just look at his frame, it's going to continue to fill out, and you got to think that his upside is really, really high.
All right, so everybody's high on Zion. We touched back on that. But how about Cam Reddish? Why is he such an interesting case?
Well, Cam is a polarizing player, depending on which teams you talk to. Some would tell you that he's Rodney Hood, and some would tell you that he's Paul George. It's hard to find any real consensus among scouts right now because he has such an extreme profile. If you look at his three-point shooting, which is excellent, his steals, which, steal rate is one of the biggest indicators you look for in star players. And then you look at the fact that his two-point percentage is so low, he really is struggling to create his own shot and to score inside the arc. He's not finishing well around the basket. There are question marks about his toughness, about his aggressiveness. He's always taken a backseat his whole career to other players. Is he the type of guy that you pick in the top 5 and you try to build your franchise around?
Give me a kid that's sort of working his way up the draft board, and lo and behold, could be in the green room come June.
Well, DeAndre Hunter is the guy that redshirted his freshman year at Virginia, but now he's sitting in the top 10 of our draft board. We saw him this past weekend against Kobe White in North Carolina. Just his versatility, his ability at 6'8" to rebound and bang inside the paint with big men, but then step outside and guard point guards and wings. I mean, that's what the NBA game is all about these days. He's also improved his three-point shooting tremendously, and he's not a bad ball handler as well. There's a lot to like about him in this positionless NBA. There's a lot of things that he can do really well.
Lottery is May 14th on ESPN. The draft is June 20th. Jonathan Givony, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Tough act to follow, but Jay Williams will try to do just that. So Jonathan Givony was talking about the guys at 3 and 4, Morant and Reddish. Now, they might be a little hard to figure out. You actually agree with that point.
I do on Morant. I guess high side as far as a comp, Damian Lillard came from a place like Weber State. So he could be that talented because we've seen his athletic highlights. We've seen his passing ability, great passing talent. He's listed as 6'3". I'm still waiting for the combine because I was 6'3" in college.
Right.
I'm really 6'1.5". Okay?
Right.
He weighs about $175 soaking wet. As we all know from the point guard position, guys like Derrick Rose, guys like Kyrie Irving, guys like Russell Westbrook, you're talking about more physical guards that play with that type of physicality.
Yeah.
I wonder how he'll be able to handle that. And then I agree wholeheartedly with Jonathan on Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish has all the talent in the world. You look at his size, you look at his frame, he has the length, he has the shooting ability. You just wonder if he's going to be there each and every day. Some scouts feel as if he can be aloof on the court, and that is the same for him and Romeo Langford. I watch a lot of Indiana games. Romeo Langford has the same kind of ability almost as a Cam Reddish, but still there are times where you don't recognize he's on the court. And how many times do you say that about top 5 NBA draft picks?
Right, not too often.
No.
That'll be a concern for general managers, no question. So listen, we're trying to hype the draft, but let's be honest, you're a journalist here. It's not a great NBA draft.
No, it is not. I think after 1 and 2, there's a lot of question marks. I also think guys like Jarrett Culver, who play at Texas Tech, he has a very long wingspan. He's had one heck of a year. He's moving up the charts. And I also think Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga. I mean, the kid just started playing basketball a couple of years ago. He has still not realized his full potential. The ceiling is the roof, for like as Michael Jordan would say for a guy like that. I mean, he has all the potential in the world. Those are 2 guys that will continue to go up the draft board.
You're good with Zion and RJ at 1-2, regardless of where the ping pong balls fall? Is it based on need or the team or the circumstance?
Well, for Zion, I mean, the big question is you want to go number 1, obviously, and him and RJ both want to go number 1. A lot of people want to go to New York. New York scares me. New York is a very difficult place to play, and I'm not hating on New York. I live in Brooklyn. It's challenging, the pressure that comes along with going to a place like that. So, look, but I think from a highlight perspective and from a talent perspective, Zion has the most upside of anybody in this draft by far, and RJ Barrett is second.
It's even tougher when you've lost 17 consecutive games. The pressure's on when you're a New York Knicks team like that.
And it's not about management. The big
Right.
question for the Knicks, it's about ownership.
Right.
That would be the question for free agency as well.
You're talking about height. Where would Kyler Murray go in the NBA draft?
Kyler Murray, his highlight wasn't as crisp as he thought it needed to be in that YMCA pickup game.
Freak athlete, not going to be in the NBA. That's Jay Williams.